keeping in mind of various ab initio DFT methods and other computational basics, including molecular orbital theory, we are going to discuss about how you have to design a drug. Most probably, the drugs that come out in the market have been in hit and run method. I mean, they discovered something accidentally, and then they prepared some derivatives. It is the job of chemists only, not others, not even the biochemists. Drug designing is done only by chemistry people only, MSc chemistry boys only, no other fellows. The biochemistry people, they find out the interaction of the drug with the biomolecules. That is their job. That we also can do. But designing a drug, we alone know which is a nucleophilic part, which is the electrophilic part, which part will attack, which part will get away, where hydrolysis will happen. We know the mechanism. Once we know the mechanism, we can establish the drug. So that is how I'm just going to share the screen and start talking about what we can see in the drug designing process. So there is always this thing called as the chemoinformatics. Here we take up the information from whatever way it is possible, by chemistry or by computers or by any internet, anything. Okay, so this will constitute the drug designing process. And they call it as the cheminformatics, and chemoinformatics is referred as chemical information. Chemical informatics has been recognized in recent years as a distinct discipline in computational molecular sciences. Chemoinformatics is also known as interface science, as it combines physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, biochemistry, statistics, and informatics. So this is a very good interface. So I'm going to show you what we do with these interfaces. So here you can see chemistry lies at the center. This is not mine slide. I have taken from several, collected this from several scientists and several scholars. So chemistry happens to be the center of everything. Here you can see it can find its roots with theoretical physics, quantum mechanics, spectroscopy, molecular mechanics, etc. So these two are nearly inseparable. Whenever you get a chance to talk physics, don't hesitate. Physics and chemistry are both, in fact, same thing. We have got physical chemistry and they've got chemical physics. So whatever you do in physics, whatever you do in chemistry are both integral. There is no thin line you can devise to differentiate the physics from chemistry. And then you have this nanomaterials, superconductors, quantum dots all go into the engineering. When we devise a particular thing, when we find out the properties, when we find out the reactivity, we give them to engineers. For example, we give aluminum-based certain alloys, and they find out that aluminum, as we give the properties of aluminum, they can devise aeroplanes. So unless we give the material, they cannot devise those things. And the next part happens to be the biology, where you have this DNA, RNA. These all things are the proteins. And proteins are all amino acids. Okay, this is what is in there. Proteins are all amino acid. Anything that you connect, you call them as the bioinformatics. Bioinformatics and chemoinformatics, you have the inline that I'm going to show you. And then comes the part of medicine, drug designing, disease modeling, and all those things come under medicine. So we are no less than the physician, doctors. The doctors, they can just they study the system of the body, and we have to tell them what drug does what is its toxicity, and all this is studied by chemistry people only. So many doctors, they find chemist people as very high. I have seen many doctors appreciating the chemistry people. Okay, then the queen of science, mathematics. I think we have seen the statistical part where we studied the QSAR. Statistical model still holds good, nonlinear equations, functional differences. Wherever you cannot take support of lab and equipments, you just take the support of the mathematics. That is what it is. Okay. Then this is the main part. We have done molecular mechanics and molecular dynamics. So here it just takes into consideration the standard bond lengths, bond angles, dihedral angles, and other parameters. And then we have seen semi-empirical ab initio methods and DFT through computational portals to information. Okay. So this chart should give a clear picture of what we are here to study. And where we stand for the drug discovery, the difference between cheminformatics and bioinformatics is only this target selection. What is this target? This target is any acceptor. Why is it that the COVID-19 virus is not attacking youngsters from up to 25 years age? They don't get attacked usually. The reason is they are not having this angiotensin converting enzyme 2 receptor. It's a kind of receptor that controls the blood pressure and that controls several heart beating and other functions of the body, including that's found in the lungs. And this receptor is a macromolecule. Is a macromolecule. Again, chemistry should be there. It's a macromolecule, and this is the place where the COVID virus sits. COVID virus sits there and starts up. So it is found only after 23 to 25 years. அதுக்கு முன்னாடி யாருக்கும் பிபி இருக்காது, சுகர் எதுவுமே இருக்காது. Very rare cases. So you can be very happy that you don't have this enzyme, therefore any virus that enters will not be doing any damage. It just appears like a dust particle. So you see, the chemistry people can identify it. Its molecular weight runs into about 40,000 units. Okay, 40,000 Daltons, we call it as. That molecular weight comes to about 40,000, and it is only the protein. So we call it as the macromolecule. Okay, we call it as a macromolecule, and this macromolecule is our target to find out. What we do in drug discovery process, take out some leads. Lead means it is there from leadership. Leadership in the lead one. Okay. So suppose there are so many other viruses. The common virus is adenovirus, rhinovirus. These are the common cold-causing viruses that are very common today, including the influenza virus. Influenza virus, it causes a lot of deaths in persons with weak persons. So this virus is structure. We just initially find out the structure of this virus. So later, after finding the structure of this virus, what they do is they use it as a target, and from the available drugs, from what we give. Suppose, for example, I am finding out that in the earlier days, aspirin used to be a fever controller. It used to be the fever controller in the olden days. But we give the clue that aspirin is a pyrogesic because it reduces the temperature. What happened was, during a discovery, they found that it can thin the blood. So blood thinning means, it can be used for heart controlling things. So it is now used in a cardio problems, and they are using it they are using certain targets. We lead, and then they target. Okay, we just go at the front by taking certain mechanisms, certain structure of the molecules, and they target it, and then they come to the selection of this. So here it goes. So they find out the disease, whatever disease that is there. They find out the they find out the molecule, and they find out the in this method we also assist them. We also assist them and tell them what is the leading disease, and then we select the target. The target selection is a receptor. The receptor is usually a macromolecular protein. Usually it is also an enzyme. If you want to know more about this, this is a very good reference. Brown FK command from this, what is it and how does it impact drug discovery? So, Annals of Reproductive Medicine, Chemistry 1998, pages 375 and 384. So here you can just go and download this article and read what he has defined about the command from drugs and drug discovery process. So I have been able to draw the line between bioinformatics and chemoinformatics. All that we require is only data. Data means it is not connected only with the computers. Let me tell you what this data is. Here you have a different aspect of the data. So we have in the periodic table, we have oxygen, carbon, phosphorus, potassium, hydrogen, etc., etc. And we just make a molecules, combine them to make a molecules, diatomic molecule, hexagonal molecule, three-dimensional molecules, and fullerenes and all those things. Okay. So when you just combine them and produce the molecule, we have seen that we are able to aggregate. Aggregate means integrate or gather the highest occupied molecular orbitals. As a result of more and more number of orbitals, they get closer to the LUMO. And in the previous class, we have seen that LUMO is a place where electrons can move freely. Electrons can react and move freely. So this help in devising materials also. I think I have told you in chemistry, from chemistry we go to two things. One is the materials. This is number one. And two is drug. One is the material and two is the drug. That is, we can just characterize the property of that and find out whether it's a very good fluorescent material or phosphorescent material or light conducting material, magnetic material, optic material, like that matter. So this goes to physics. Material science is entirely different after studying chemistry. Second part is drug, where we find support using the biology and all those things. Okay. So the data that we collect for these particular things is very important. So let us look into how drug discovery has evolved over. I told you we have to identify the disease first. So in our present case, we have seen the COVID as a very good disease, and we have seen the symptoms of that. And we have isolated the protein that is there. This contains a protein which is actually a virus, which is having a molecular weight of around 40,000. This has been isolated. The Chinese people have isolated this. So earlier it used to take 2 to 5 years. Now we did it just in 2 months. Just in 2 months. This is a very good development. This is just now taking 2 months. Within 2 months and 1.5 months, they established the structure. They found the structure is found in pdb.org. pdb.org. You know it has got 1K, and in the last class we saw how to get the Ramachandran plot from the server by giving a protein data bank code. So like that, the protein data bank, like for example, 1ORN is a code for that some proteins. Okay. Then this happens to be a very essential part of a chemist. Find a drug effective against a disease protein. Okay. So it is a most difficult part of drug discovery. Difficult part. And this lies with the chemistry. So here is what our entire concentration is. Entire concentration, drug discovery process is there. So once you find certain things, in this case also, they have been tested in mice. This is the first thing. We call them as the albino rats. These rats are available for testing. Each rat costs about 30 rupees, but it has got a very tedious process. These rats, how they test in rats is they inject for example, one bacteria is there. That bacteria is called as the Escherichia coli. So that bacteria is injected into the mice. The mice develops infection, it gets some infection, it gets a wound near the face, near the tail, near the body. And then we people, chemistry people, they dissolve the drug in which it is very much soluble, inject the drug into the mice in just 50 milligram, and then they just increase it to about 100 milligram. They just go on finding out. Okay. Now, what happens here is the bacteria which you have given is considered as 100% infection. 100% infection. After you give drug, the infection is reduced to about 75%. Reduced to about 70%. Then 65%. Then 60%. Then 55%. Then 50%. Now, when you find that the infection has been reduced by about 50%, okay, the infection in the mice has been reduced percent, you call this as the inhibitive concentration. IC50. If I mark it, it's very important. And sometimes it is also called as, in chemistry, we call it as the MIC50. The minimum inhibitive concentration required by your drug to contain the disease that is given is known as MIC50. It is to be done by it. We did it in the MPhil also. We took some petri dish. Petri dish na ஒரு சின்ன glass dish மாதிரி இருக்கும். அந்த glass dishல beef extract போடுவாங்க. Beef extract na அது beef அது கூட கிடைக்கும். இதுல அந்த chemical shops-ல, I mean in the from where we get chemicals. அந்த petri dish-ல beef extract எல்லாம் போட்டுட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த E. coli bacteria இருக்கு இல்லையா, E. coli bacteria or Klebsiella pneumoniae அப்படின்னு. ஸோ இந்த பாக்டீரியா ரெண்டுமே என்ன பண்ணோம்னா, அந்த பெட்ரி டிஷ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, இந்த மாதிரி டிஷ் இது, அந்த டிஷ்ல பீஃப் எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ட் போட்டுருவாங்க. பீஃப் எக்ஸ்ட்ராக்ட் அப்புறம் சிரிஞ்ச் எடுத்து அதில் போடுவாங்க. போட்டால் என்ன ஆகும்னா, இப்படி ரவுண்டா டிஷ் இருக்குதுன்னு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், இங்கெல்லாம் இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் தெரியும். அப்படி இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் பார்ட்டெல்லாம் எப்படி இன்ஃபெக்ஷன். இந்த இடத்துல இன்ஃபெக்ஷன். இப்போ நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுங்கன்னா, our molecule, whatever molecule we have, our molecule dissolved in particular solvent. Our molecule dissolved in particular solvent. Here you should keep in mind that we take the log P values, distribution coefficient things. So our molecule that is dissolved in that is now put into this. 5 gram, 10 gram, 20 gram, 25 gram, 30 gram. Okay. Slowly we can increase the concentration. இப்போ இந்த ஏரியா எவ்வளவு இருக்குது, அதுக்கு பாதி reduce ஆயிடும். The area of infection will be reduced by about 50%. அதுக்கு பேர் தான் minimum inhibitory concentration. Minimum inhibitory concentration is a term every MSc student should know. It is not that we don't have in syllabus, we are not going to study. MSc is a biological activity factor, biological activity value. It is compulsorily in every pharma industry, they will ask you what minimum inhibitory concentration is, or they will ask what is biological activity. அப்படின்னு சொல்லும்போது biological activity refers to the inhibition of 50% of the disease that is given by that. An example is, in the petri dishes, you take beef extract, put certain bacteria, grow that bacteria. That area is called as the infected place, and then you give the drug. After you give the drug, you find that 50% has been contained. Then you find out the quantity. That quantity is known as minimum inhibitory concentration, and that is given in micromolar grams. Micromolar grams, again the unit of chemistry. So minimum inhibitory concentration is very good. And sometimes, what happens is, it just goes on. Some people just put it in mice, and then 50 மேல போயிட்டே இருக்கும். கொடுத்துட்டே இருப்பாங்க. கொடுத்துட்டே இருந்தாங்க என்ன ஆகும்னா அந்த மைஸ் செத்து போயிடும். அதுக்கு பேர் வந்து LD50 அப்படின்னு சொல்லி lethal dose அப்படின்னு. The amount of this is to find out the toxicity. Toxicity find out பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா toxicity of a drug, how much toxic it is அப்படின்னு find out பண்றதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணணும்னா அதை அப்படியே இன்க்ரீஸ் பண்ணிட்டே போனீங்கன்னா அந்த மைஸ் செத்து போயிடும். அந்த குவான்டிட்டி எடுத்துட்டு அதுக்கு பாதி எடுத்துட்டு அடுத்தது எதுல ரேபிட்ல கொடுப்போம். ரேபிட்ல அப்படியே LD50 கால் பண்ணும். ரேபிட் கூட செத்து போயிடுச்சு அப்படின்னா ரேபிட்ல இருந்து மன்கிக்கு எடுத்து கொடுப்பாங்க. மன்கி அப்படியே கொடுப்பாங்க. மன்கி எல்லாம் அப்படியே போயிடுச்சுன்னா மன்கிக்கு அப்புறம் பிக்குக்கு எடுத்துன்னு வருவாங்க. Pig has got certain heart conditions and metabolism close to human beings. After it is tested in pigs, it is brought into the market for human clinical trials. So it takes up to 10 years. Then we have to file certain that is the drug associations and then investigation agencies, and then after it approves we go to that. Now this 10 to 20 years, 2 to 10 years is now just reduced to about 2 to 6 months. How? You identify the disease, isolate the protein. This is the protein I told you, that ACE2 receptor found in lungs. And this is what we call as the genomics, proteomics, biopharm. Okay. Potentially producing many more targets and fertilizers. Then this is called as the high throughput screening. Screening na enna? இப்போ ஒரு ஆள் செக்யூரிட்டில போனீங்கன்னா ஸ்கிரீன் பண்றாங்க இல்லையா, ஃபுல்லா பாடியில இங்க அந்த ஸ்கிரீனிங் ப்ராசஸ் we just do it with 10,000 compounds. This is chemical. And then this is our part. Virtual screening. Virtual na, that is not real. How do we do? We do this virtual. Virtual is done using the computer. Okay. Then we find the drug. That part is known as the combinatorial chemistry. It produces vast number of components. Combinatorial chemistry, computational chemistry oda konja advanced vera porula eduthu பண்ணுவாங்க நிறைய இருக்கு. You just combine many things and we call it as the combinatorial chemistry. And then this is also our part, molecular modeling, computer graphics and models help improve the activity. இந்த activity கூட நான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து எப்படி பண்ணணும்னு சொல்லி அப்புறம் நான் சொல்றேன். Then find out that and it goes for the clinical testing. In vitro அப்படின்னா glass. In silico அப்படின்னா கம்ப்யூட்டர். இன்னொன்று கூட இருக்கும், இன் வைவோ அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். வைவோனா பாடி. In vitro first thing, I'm sorry, in silico second thing, in vivo third thing. In vitro, vitreous means anything which is crystalline, which is glass. Silico means silicon. Silicon la chip செஞ்சாங்க, chip la process செஞ்சாங்க, process la computer வந்துச்சு, அதனால computation model in silico method. In silico, in vitro, in vivo. இது vivo தான். Vivo means something which is body. Viva voce அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, PhD க்கு அந்த மாதிரி viva voce. So this entire process of virtual screening, it reduces this thing into this. So what are the issues that we have in drug design? We just lead up. Something is known and something is not known. Whatever is it, it is taken into the computer layer. Computer layer, biosterism, molecular dynamics, combinatorial chemistry, QSR, docking. Docking is a separate field. I will just tell you it is important. Is there in this also. Then we arrive at the lead optimization. Leader lend the lead. நம்ம lead and படிக்கூடாது. leadனா அந்த plumbum 26 அந்த atomic number அதுல இருக்கு 206 plumbum அது கிடையாது. Most stable nuclide on the universe is lead only. It absorbs all the radiation. அந்த lead கிடையாது. இது வந்து lead is the concern of the radiation. Okay, so if you have unknown things, there also this is the job of the computational chemistry. De novo means it's a French term. Novel means something new. ஏதாவது new. Suppose you might have paracetamol. Paracetamol வந்து நல்லா கேக்குது. Paracetamol கேட்கும்போது நான் என்ன பண்றோம் அப்படின்னா அது அந்த டெரிவேட்டிவ் எடுத்து ஏதாவது குளோரோ சப்ஸ்டிடியூஷன் paracetamol அதுல வந்து குளோரோ டெரிவேட்டிவ், நைட்ரோ டெரிவேட்டிவ், அமினோ டெரிவேட்டிவ், OCOCH3 டெரிவேட்டிவ் மாத்தி மாத்தி என்ன பண்றோம்னா இங்க லீட் ஜெனரேட் பண்றோம். பண்ணிட்டு அது எப்படி ஒர்க் ஆகுதுன்னு பார்க்கணும். சம்டைம்ஸ் யூ ஹேவ் வெரி குட் டெரிவேட்டிவ், இட் வில் வெரி குட் ட்ரக். சம் டெரிவேட்டிவ்ஸ் ஆர் வெரி குட் ட்ரக். ஸோ இது அன்னோன்ல இருந்து இப்படி கூட போகலாம். அன்னோன்ல இருந்து நியூ மெத்தட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு இஸ் a job of chemist here. போயிட்டு இங்க போயிடுங்க அந்த லேப். தென் யூ ஹேவ் டு வேலிடேட். வர வேல்யூ கரெக்ட் அப்படி அப்படின்னா நீங்க அதான் வேலிடேஷன். இதுக்கு இன்னொரு பேர் என்ன சொல்றோம்னா ரீப்ரொடியூசிபிலிட்டி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ரீப்ரொடியூசிபிலிட்டினா இந்த இடத்துல நான் என்ன ரிசல்ட் வருது அதே மற்ற இடத்துல போனீங்கன்னா அதே ரிசல்ட் தான் வரும். செகண்ட் ஹேண்ட் காலேஜ்ல என்ன ரிசல்ட் வருதோ முத்துரங்க மார்க்ஸ் காலேஜ்ல கூட அதே ரிசல்ட் தான் வரும். லேப்ல சொல்றேன், இஸ்லாமிக் காலேஜ்ல கூட அதே இருக்கும். So that is validation. If it is not validated, it's not a very successful setup. Then you do clinical trials, animal models, and then synthesis. This is the organic part. Okay. So this is a very good chart for you to understand it. And here I am coming to the last slide of the day. It's a very good. You should have. You should know what you can do with. I often told you that you prepare something plan. எதுவா இருந்தாலும் பிளான் பண்ணி சொல்லணும். பிளான் அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க இல்லையா, அந்த மாதிரி பிளான். This plan is usually done using a flow chart. I did this using the flow chart. First, I took a particular molecule. My molecule was, NH2, CH2 4 times, COOH, and I called this as ornithine. Is a protein. Is an anti-skin cancer. It's an anti-skin cancer drug. I wrote the Z matrix coordinate for that, submitted it to molecular mechanics. Molecular mechanics, no, this will correct. This will correct the standard bond length, bond angles, and the diagonal angles. Then, therefore, after that, after correction, you have to go for conformational analysis. Give the Ramachandran plot along. Spectral analysis to establish the structure. Okay. Then we have to look for experimental IC, inhibitive concentration values, online lipophysical values, online level. அப்புறம் நிறைய டிரைவ்ஸ் எடுத்துட்டு ரெகுலேஷன் அண்ட் QSR அனாலிசிஸ். QSR means it is a big data system. Okay. Then after molecular mechanics, you can go for finding out the semi-empirical method 1, ab initio method 2, density function method 3. இந்த 3 மெத்தட்லயும் இது வந்து எல்லாம் கரெக்ட் பண்ணும். இட்ஸ் வெரி குட் கரெக்ஷன் ஸ்டெப். ab initioல சில மெத்தட் இருக்கு. ரெஸ்ட்ரிக்டட் ஆர்டிஃபாக்ட், மோலோப்ளாசெட், கேட்டன் ஆன அனாலிசிஸ், ஹெசியன்னா ஐஆர் கண்டுபிடிப்பு, நேச்சுரல் பாண்ட் ஆர்பிட்டல் அனாலிசிஸ். இதுல அதே மாதிரி certain methods are there. This is used to calculate NV analysis. So after this, immediately you can come to the homoluma analysis and animal. ரெண்டு மெத்தட்லயும் DFT மெத்தட்லயும் ab initio மெத்தட்லயும். Okay. Then you can calculate chemical potential, electron affinity, Foucault functions, electrophilicity, nucleosynthesis. Foucault functions, they are based on FMO. I think I told you about the frontier molecular orbital. And then after optimized, after this, from this you can come over to this. You have the molecular electrostatic potential, surface potential, Coulomb volts. So this determines the reactivity part. கண்ணுக்கு தெரியாத மாதிரி ரியாக்ஷன் எல்லாம் நடக்கும். அதெல்லாம் பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் திஸ் ஒன். Coulomb volt, surface potential அந்த மாதிரி. அப்புறம் இதெல்லாம் எடுத்துட்டு ஆப்டிமைஸ் பண்ணி டாக்கிங் பண்ணோம். டாக்கிங் ஐ அம் கோயிங் டு டெல் யூ வாட் இஸ் டாக்கிங். இட் இஸ் லாக் அண்ட் கீ மெத்தட். ஓகே, அண்ட் தென் generation of the uh, descriptors. The descriptors you have already seen, the molecular descriptors. There are thousands of molecular descriptors. So while doing this, you can come across the Koopman's approximation. Koopman's theorem, it says that the orbital energy is equal to the energy, that is the ionization potential. Often is the amount of energy required to remove the electron from the last orbital. We take that energy as equivalent to the orbital energy of it. Usually we should not take it, but you can see that orbital energy is having certain value. That value is the same value that you require to remove an electron from the last orbital, and that is what we call it as the ionization potential is equated approximately as an orbital value. In the approximation, you get a lot of descriptors. You get lot of descriptors. So when you get lot of such descriptors, you can just work out QSR model and find out a very good drug. Okay, so what we have seen today is a very good idea about this class of drug discovery. We have seen a few things. One is the finding out for this you can take old molecule and இதுல இருந்து நிறைய ப்ரிப்பேர் பண்ணீங்கன்னா you get lead molecule. So after leading at all these things, you can try. Satisfactory idea that you have studied something in life. Okay.